talk about Naruto and Sasuke's relevance in Boruto manga and anime. Now, of course, the Boruto manga and anime are inherently different because they kind of divide the stories in two parts. You have the anime canon, and then you have manga canon. And while they're both important, where's the relevance in terms of Naruto and Sasuke, especially after losing their powers? Rene Sharingan for Sasuke, and Kurama for Naruto. Of course, Naruto was showcased against Cold and Kawaki and the whole Boruto fiasco, showing that he does still have Sage Mode. But where does the relevance go? Now, Naruto, to me, will always remain relevant due to him being a Kage. But that doesn't necessarily mean he will be a threat. That doesn't necessarily mean he'll be a relevant threat in a future part of this series, especially with Boruto being an Otsutsuki, pretty much Momoshiki giving up having Boruto be what they like being fed to the Ten Tails, or not Boruto per se, but Kawaki and all that stuff. You know how he had to save Boruto because he was dying because Kawaki killed him, all this stuff. Boruto is now that new number one threat along with Kawaki, because they have karma. But Naruto and Sasuke, where do they fit in the story? Well, if you look at the power scaling in Boruto, it's a little funky. And I call it funky, meaning it's kind of funky. Alright, it's funky. The reason why I say that is even though Naruto doesn't have Kurama and Sasuke doesn't have Rene Sharingan, they're still really strong. Sasuke still has the internal Genkyo Sharingan. Naruto still has Sage Mode, and I'm pretty sure he still has other powers on top of that. They're not all the way irrelevant to the story, especially in Naruto's case, because there's other sense of fighting, and this is just the manga we're going to talk about. There's other ways to be relevant without necessarily going into battle. And that's where Naruto plays his part, him being the Kage, him assembling the 5 Kage Summit, etc., etc. But Naruto, again, still has Sage Mode and turning my Genkyo Sharingan for Sasuke, so they're still a viable threat. But can they go against the likes of a Delta even? At the very bare bones of it, can they go against a Delta? That's maybe together, yes. Together, yes. But they're still stronger than a lot of other component characters in Boruto. Like, they're stronger than Konohamaru. They're stronger than Kakashi. They're stronger than Darui. They're stronger than a lot of characters in Boruto to this day. So even though they don't have their powers, they're still pretty strong. They're still going to be relevant. It's not like they lost the ability to fight. They just can't fight the highest scaled battle. So right now, what we're looking at is a passing of the torch between Naruto and Sasuke and Kawaki and Boruto. Kawaki and Boruto would take the helm of being the strongest in the Leaf Village, the strongest in the ninja world, the shinobi world, while Naruto and Sasuke will take the backseat where Boruto and Kawaki once were, especially during facing off against Ishiki. They're going to take that role, but they're not going to be, what we're going to say, weak or anything. They're not, of course not, because them two together can still take on somebody like a Delta. Them two together, in my opinion, can still take on somebody like a Boro, They can definitely still do that. That's possible for them. It's just now they got to fight a lot of those battles together. They already were, but they can't go against those top tier enemies. We're seeing a passing of the torch, and it's beautiful. I just don't want people to think like, oh yeah, they limit them and all that. They're not limited. They're still narratively, like, in the story, they're still very relevant. Like, Sasuke still has much to teach to Boruto. Regardless if he lost one of his strongest, like, eyes, his powers, regardless, he's still there. He's still going to be relevant. He can still fight.